Folks, welcome back to So Bad It's Good. Now, if you've been listening to this show, you know that I just watched 8 episodes of a brand new reality television series on Netflix that is still currently sitting in the top 10. It is called Members Only Palm Beach. And I got to tell you, I went through a range of emotions with this. I thought it was hysterical. I got angry at times. I got scared at times. And then I thought it was funny again. I mean, I kind of was like, the reality shows work when they take you behind like a curtain of a lifestyle potentially that you don't understand or you have not really heard of or seen before. And I think this show does this. Now, we have one of my favorite characters, and I say characters even though she is a real person. And also she's a DJ. So I think that's great right off the top of the bat. So she's a tech entrepreneur turned DJ, and now she has her 3rd season in Palm Beach. We're going to find out all about her and about the other characters/ladies of this show. So please welcome DJ Tumbles, aka Maria Cozamanis. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Maria, I got to tell you, I mean, how have you paid attention to how much people are talking about this show right now?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say it's hard to not pay attention, but I'm actually like, it's kind of surreal. So I'm humbled. Like, I'm just so taken aback. I knew that they said to us, listen, it's gonna launch, people, will come, but I didn't think it would come like this. And it's just honestly, it's been overwhelming, but in such a positive way. Like, it's amazing.
Okay, so it's a positive way because people have been saying really positive things. People have been saying negative things. People have gotten emotional about this reality series, which I think is so interesting. And I was going to ask for the audience that hasn't seen it, how would you describe this show?
Oh gosh, you can't even describe it in one sentence. It's literally, you know what it is? It's like, I feel because a lot of people have likened it to, I'm honored,
Real
they
Housewives.
well, the Palm Royale on Apple TV, like
Oh, yes.
so it's
Kristen Wiig.
almost like in today's time, it's like brought into reality. And now that I watch it back, because these are my friends, but now that I watch it back, I'm like, oh my gosh, they really are those characters. Like everybody kind of likened to someone else on that show. So it's almost like it was brought to reality, and it's campy and it's funny and it's heartfelt. I mean, I didn't think that I was going to bring the tears that I brought. I didn't think that I was going to emotionally connect in many different situations as I did. So quite honestly, walking away, the only thing I can say to people and the feedback that I'm seeing is that it's funny, fun. You want to root for the underdog. You want to throw your shoe at whatever, the woman that said the stupid thing.
I would consider you one of the underdogs. I mean, Romina, I guess, is an underdog in a sense, but some of these ladies come for you, or they kind of not talk down to you, but they think you potentially are too outspoken, or the way that you dress is a little too outlandish, which, by the way, nobody should be talking about how you dress in terms of how all these other ladies dresses. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's insane, but have you watched all 8 episodes back?
Yes, yes. And you know what? Quite honestly, listen, it's subjective. I think the one thing that's so preposterous that actually is getting people so risen is the fact that, there's this world, this bubble that they're like, how is this reality? Like, how are people saying that you're not dressed properly? You can't show your boobs and your knees, but I can because I'm showing my boobs and my knees today. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So it's hilarious, but this is our reality. Like, it's crazy.
Well, that's the thing is that I was like, God, is this real life? Because it's like I'm watching and I'm like, is this on Mars? Like I've watched so much Housewives in my days, but this is even more extreme than Housewives. It's Housewives on steroids. And then I just think it's so interesting that even though there's this quote unquote upper class, there is these kind of in this upper class where people are still getting looked down on or poked fun at or said you can't do this or you can't do that. And I'm like, what are we trying to achieve here? Because we have Rosalind, who is trying to be the head of Palm Beach. You have Hillary, who thinks she's the head of Palm Beach. You have Gail, who I guess has the keys to like whoever leads Palm Beach. I mean, there seems to be this hierarchy.
A bunch of dead people.
Yeah, it's what. By the way, you guys, there's a character Gail, and she literally carries around every press clipping that has ever been spoken about her in like her 50 years and like how many presidents she's been around. But I know people like that to a lesser degree in real life, but it was kind of shocking to see this. And so I was like overloaded on this because I binged it. And by the end, I was like, I need to decompress. But when you watch it back, how did you view it? Because you got to then experience conversations of people talking about you where you weren't there, or you got to see it from a different side. What were the emotions going through your head when you watched it?
So I think overall, like what I actually see being able to sit back and like view it back is that I do see a bunch of women who honestly, like on the inside, we're all just a girl looking to make it in different ways. Like for some reason, every single one of us got brought to this town for whatever our purpose was. You've got someone like Romina who actually wants to work her way up in the ranks because it's been her dream to land here. You have Rosalind, who's like the pageant queen, who her dream has been to become the queen. You have somebody like Gail who the type of person that just lives in the past because those were their
Those are the
best days.
glory days. Yeah.
Yes, and, sometimes I feel bad because think about it, if you once sat, I don't know, in your head on some throne and then all of a sudden you feel like they were the glory days, I mean, I'd be talking about them all the time too. And then, you have someone like myself where I want to excel with my music. And I feel like everybody has a reason why they're here. Viewers might look at it and say, hey, like, why do you put up with that? Like, why do you, not
Yeah, like,
like,
why do you care? Why do you care? It's like that was my thing of like, why would you ever let one of these ladies? I mean, you could make an argument against everyone on this cast. So
right,
why would you ever let these people hurt you? Or even Romina. I was like, if I was Romina, I'd walk straight out of this place. I'd go start my own society somewhere like a mile away from Palm Beach and start over again. I mean, what does it feel like in this setting? Is there this kind of I mean, what is the feeling that goes through your head of like making it? Because you said you're 3 seasons in, you want to work on your DJ career. You started as a tech entrepreneur, and I don't even know how do you go from tech entrepreneur to DJ Tumbles?
I just honestly, I'm so multifaceted. I'm one of those people that I have like a really high functioning ADHD brain. So I feel like every 4 or 5 years, I start a different career. I've cycled from, I mean, listen, the tech thing is still ongoing. My husband's a chiropractor and it's like a medical software. So that's how that came about. And we built that together. But then, at one point with my, background in
You're a mom
psychology,
as well.
I'm a mom, and then with
Yeah.
my background in psychology, I wrote a book and I published a book and I was doing relationship coaching. And then during COVID, I just felt like I needed my next, my next run. My husband used to DJ back in the day before he went to get his doctorate. So I said to him, I'm like, teach me how to DJ. And it kind of grew legs. And then all of a sudden Tumbles was born and Palm Beach embraced her. So I feel for me, it's like I'm a perfectionist. I don't wanna just, like, DJ, like, here and there. Like, I think to myself, "Wow, I can be in the biggest rooms, and I'm with some of the biggest charities, and they're so opulent, and some of the biggest people and, the donators," and it's just such a magical world. Like, it's literally a real life, like, unicorns and, like, all that kinda
So it's
stuff.
like a seductiveness about this that when you're
Yes.
in that bubble, it is very seductive, and it is obviously something that people want to be able. It's aspirational for the people that live
Right,
there. Correct?
right. But we also have like, you guys get to see a glimpse of, a lot of our interactions, and obviously it's deeper than that. This is a group of women where we do have genuine friendships. Like, Rosalind and I, it's not the first time, you saw us get into an argument on television. We've had little falling outs or spiffs before, and we've worked through them. Because I do feel someone like Rosalind in my group of friends and all the circles that I have, she's worth working through it because, we've been friends for quite some time. Romina's
Because there's
worth
a real relationship. That's what
real
I always say
relation.
about reality television. If you have real relationships, that's going to really set that show apart from
Absolutely.
another show where you're just cast and you're getting to know each other for the first time.
Yes, and there are multiple layers, like, Palm Beach is so unique, and I've always said that I liken it to, like, a millefeuille, like, the, French pastry, which is, like, a million layers, and in Palm Beach, those are the social circles. It's, like, beyond, like, on the outer so these women here, the reason why we stick together and we're worth it because we're in a bigger bubble, and it's kind of like we're all kind of trying to make it in our own ways. Like, obviously, the friendships are substantial enough where they're worth working through,
Yeah.
Especially Romina and I, because her and I are like the closest. But at the end of the day, like, you see some of that play out. I did watch some of the ladies say shit about me behind my back afterwards, and I'm like, "Oh, no,
What is,
she
I mean,
didn't."
what is that? But what is that feeling like? You're new to reality television. Listen, when I hear something bad about myself, it stings. What about that when it's on television where so many people are watching it? You're seeing it for the first time. How does that hit you emotionally? Or you're like, well, that's what happens in reality TV.
I think I prepared myself that, it's possible that, listen, I have the freedom to say whatever I want to say. And I didn't hold back in my interviews. So I was prepared that it would come back. Was I surprised? I mean, you start to know certain personalities. I really wasn't surprised that people decided to go there and say certain things. But I know my truth. And at the end of the day, I know when I walk away that it doesn't cut deep. Like if it was something that was really disparaging, maybe I would have been like, "Oh, hell no,
Hey,
sister."
save that for the second season. Save that for the second season.
Oh,
What was,
listen,
I
let
mean,
me tell you. There is literally lately, I've been thinking to myself, okay, because like it's in season. And when there's in season, things are happening. And
well,
lately, I've been like,
explain the seasons for people that don't understand. And in the show, you'll have your name. It'll be like 3 seasons in Palm Beach or
right.
5 seasons. What does that mean for the audiences that isn't aware?
So Palm Beach is a seasonal town. Basically, there's snowbird type people. It's like basically we triple, quadruple in size when it's season. And season runs from, the end of October until April. And that's when, there's part-time people who live down here. So everybody comes back to their like, Palm Beach homes. And it's all the galas and the charities and the parties. And then all of a sudden from April through the summer, all the way till like the beginning of October, it's like crickets. You can get any reservation off season, but in season, you can't get a reservation if your life depended on it.
Well, so when you shot this, did you shoot in season or out of season?
We did shoot in season, and one of the things that was very triggering for people online was, "You can't film on Palm Beach Island. This wasn't filmed in Palm Beach." So I can
Yeah.
confirm with 100% certainty that all of us ladies are throughout Palm Beach County, and it was filmed all throughout Palm Beach County, including on the island, because one thing that people don't realize is that you can film on the island if you are filming private parties, if you're filming in mansions. You can even film on Worth Avenue as long as it's, we filmed in a gallery. It was a private
Yeah.
event right on Worth Avenue. So it just depends on the venues.
Well, my question to you, and I don't know if you can tell me honestly, is that if you are currently in season, this show is an out of the box hit for Netflix. I've been covering these things for so long, I would assume that you've already been picked up for a second season, and I would also assume that you're about to start shooting season 2. What can you tell us about that? Because I think that's a big question for everybody that's watching the first season.
So you would think that season 2 already started filming based on how these bitches have been acting. I've been like, "Where are the cameras?" Like, seriously, somebody. So listen, nothing at this point is guaranteed. I will say this, that the feedback that we've gotten has been immense, and it's big eyes are seeing it. Like we're getting like messages from celebrities and people. I'm like, "Oh my God, are you talking to me?" I'm like, "Am I being like punked like in my inbox?"
Wait, what celebrities have reached out to you so far? Can you give us
I mean,
one?
listen, we've gotten, a handful of like, the housewives. We've gotten, people such as yourself
Well,
and,
I mean, Jill Zarin, I'm sure. I mean, Jill's friends with Hillary. I'm sure Jill Zarin now wants to be on this show. I said that the other day. I said Jill Zarin is probably begging to be on the second season of this show.
oh, I don't know. You probably have to ask Hillary that. So, I mean, they're friends, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
But, I mean, she was around at parties. I've seen her before. Like they
yeah.
are friends. So I've seen her at quite a few parties. But, I mean, listen, I've had people slip into my DMs. And the other day I even had like Howie Mandel. And I'm like, "Are you Howie?" I'm like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
even
I'm like, "Is that you?" Because I'm from Toronto and he's from Toronto. And I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh my goodness, my people." Yeah,
So
pretty surreal.
So everybody's acting up like there already is a second season, but a second season hasn't been confirmed yet. But if season ends in April, we still have a couple of more months to make this happen. But speaking of off season, before we get into what happened on the show, what is going on? Are you on a group chat with all the ladies of this reality series? Has anybody left the group chat? Like, what is the drama going on after the camera's wrapped? Are you
On
allowed to
the
share?
daily. I'm the dramatic one. I'm like, "I'm leaving." Maria's left the group chat. No.
If you listen to the show, you know Rebecca and I, we are having a child in less than 3 months, and we're already talking about how do we cook for ourselves, have healthy meals, but have it be easy for us to do all of these things with no stress. Well, Factor makes it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. So you can eat well without the shopping or the cooking. It's perfect. So inside these are quality functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. No refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. Meals that fit your goal and your schedule. Healthier eating, calorie management, more protein. I mean, we are going to need this. I mean, this is perfect for us because we can go online, search from a menu, and choose what works for us each week. There's 100 rotating weekly meals. Options include high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support, and ready-to-eat salads. Plus, the new Muscle Pro collection supports strength and recovery. It's always fresh, it's never frozen, and it's ready in about 2 minutes. No prep, no stress. So head to factormeals.com/SOBAD50 off. Use code SOBAD50 off. That's SOBAD50OFF to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. So make healthier eating easy with Factor. I know we're going to do it.
You know what the funny thing is? I mean, I think this is typical of women in general. I think we have like 6 or 7 group chats going. One of them includes everybody. The other one includes not her, not this bitch. I'm sure there are group chats that don't include me. Like, okay, I'm ready
Wow.
for it. But it's buzzing, like somebody will jump in and be like, come to my charity gala. Let's get together. Friday night we're going out. So yeah, it's very, very, very active. There's a
But
lot
has
going.
anybody come at you or have you come at anybody based on what you saw in the first season in some sort of text? Like, I saw that, it wasn't cool, point taken.
So I think for the most part, speaking for myself, I walked away feeling 100% okay. Even before, I mean, I don't know if I should have done this, but before it even aired, I said to the other ladies, listen, I'm giving 100% forgiveness and permission. I don't care. I think because I knew what I said in my interviews. So I was like, listen, I'm just forgiving
Hey,
everybody
you
right
said you said one of my favorite lines all season. You said "rip a fart," and I was like, "Wow!" She said "rip a fart." Amazing. Okay.
now. Right. I mean, listen, we got to talk about the pressing topics that nobody wants to talk about. Stop holding it
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
So yeah, listen, this is why I said when it's season from week to week, things change. It does get heated. Here's the problem. There are big events and everybody always wants to outdo somebody else. So I can tell you without really getting into it, even though season 2 hasn't been confirmed, a lot of things are moving, a lot of things are happening. Okay.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Um, Somebody threw an event last week that didn't sit well with one of the other ladies. This is now an issue. The next party's being planned and there might be not 100% invites going. Like, I don't know. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure this is my dress.
But see, this is
And
the
I'm
crazy thing
invited.
is that these are all events for charities, like these are good causes, and then
Mhm.
it turns out to be a fight about who's invited where, what are you wearing when you get there, and it's real. Like that's the insane thing is that well, at the end of the day, it's a good thing to help like these causes, and then you have these like really petty squabbles that aren't petty to you ladies, but
Right.
we watch them and we're like, oh come on, it's for a good cause. So the hierarchy is so insane. And if you were to, I guess, personally say to you, who is the quote unquote queen of Palm Beach? Because they try to make it up. Is it Rosalind or is it Hillary? Between those two ladies, I mean, Gail's out of the running, but they try to put it up as these two ladies. Who- Tell us, who is the most, I guess, respected or who is the queen of Palm Beach in terms of your show?
Okay, so first and foremost, I would nominate myself. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Um,
hey, you can do that too. I mean, you can talk trash at whatever you want.
no, I don't want the baton, trust me. It literally would limit me in so many ways. I'd much
And
rather
you
just
guys, there actually is a baton that is passed. There
there's
is
a
Gail has
baton.
a baton in the show, so that's
Where
not
are
just
we?
that's an actual baton.
I know, and I'm like, is that from, like, relay? Did that come from, like, sprinting? Is that, like, a 400-meter baton? Like, it looked gold, bronzish, like, was it coated?
It was insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say this, listen, in many different ways. I think for Rosalind, she has a very, very social presence. We call her Miss Congeniality. She probably would want it the most. And from the outside, she presents well, like the whole wave, smile and wave. And for Hillary, her persona is much different. She's very respected. To be honest with you, I don't even think Hillary would want it if it was given to her because she thinks that it's like this fallacy type thing. But what she does want is she wants the respect and she likes to be the, mistress of ceremonies, like the hostess
Yeah.
to everything. So I think what Hillary's looking for and what Rosalind are looking for are a little bit different. But, anytime you put 2 cats in a box,
Yeah, I mean, that's the really interesting thing. I mean, then you have Romina, who is, like you said, like that's the one that like we're seeing it through her eyes in terms of like a newbie in a sense. But then they're coming at Romina saying her dress is all wrong, and I
right.
didn't really understand that at all because I thought I was seeing kind of cleavage everywhere. I thought I was seeing knees everywhere, and they were really harping on Romina. Did you think that was fair? Because I thought it was completely unfair.
Oh, yes. Honestly, Palm Beach, I liken it to, like, gilded hypocrisy. It's like you can't show your knees and your boobs, but I can because I'm wearing a split. I can do it on Mondays, but not on Sundays.
Yeah,
Like,
there's all these rules. I don't know the rules.
exactly. So I do think there's a lot of hypocrisy. It's like the blind leading the blind. And it's like these all old spoken rules. Nobody knows where the original book is or who it was that originated. Like it's insane. But at the end of the day, listen, Romina wants it bad. She sometimes is willing to take it with a grain of salt, but I honestly like for Romina and I, we conform a little bit differently. I know I'm a bit of a chameleon, so I know how to show up to an event. I know how to work a room. I know how to cover my tattoos. For me, it's a business. And then I go home and I can like decompress. I think for Romina, where it wasn't computing was you're trying to change me and I need to be like one mode all the time. But the wonderful thing is that you can be multifaceted and still be true to yourself. It doesn't mean that you're
Yeah.
not true to yourself. So I think that's where the growth, and that comes, I think, a little bit with like, I just listen, honestly, I think it comes with age. Because when I was her age, God bless her little soul, I was like that too. You're like impressionable, you're hungry, and then at some point you develop some friggin' battle wounds from like your social life and you're like, okay, I got
Yeah.
this, you know?
Or I mean, it made me. It was one of those things you always realize as a reality television that high school never truly ends. Is that
Never.
there's always high school elements, even as we get
Yes.
older. You never get out of that kind of petty cat fights and things like that, even with dudes. And I always think that is what's interesting about these shows where you're just like, oh man, it never changes. It's just in better clothing and more wealth potentially.
Right. And I think for me, what becomes challenging is because I'm such a touchy-feely person, like Palm Beach does have, very deep rooted friendships, but a lot of it is very superficial. Just, hey, we're here for season. We're doing like, hi, nice to see you tease. For me, I need to have like just deeply rooted relationships. So that's why you saw me crying a lot during the season because I was already dealing with a lot of stuff, going through therapy and then interacting with these women. I need to be able to feel like seen. And I'm like, we're good, right? So honestly,
But see, it's so hard to be seen within a bunch of people that want themselves to be seen.
I
When
know
they're all, a lot of people are thinking about themselves, I think in reality television in general. And so that's a hard place to be seen when
it is.
everybody wants to be the top
It
dog.
is. So picture us 5 and picture that multiplied by the hundreds. So the reason why us 5 kind of cling on to each other, it's like a little dinky boat that's out in the middle of the ocean. And we're hanging on to each other because we realized at some point that there was something in one another that we just kept coming back to. Believe it or not, after going through it with Hillary, like you saw in the first season, Hillary and I now are in actually a really good place. Like
Well, let's ruin that right now. Let's ruin it right now with you and Hillary. No, that's good. I mean,
I'm
that's
like,
where
oh my God,
you
what you say about me?
yeah, no. No, I'm joking. I mean, it's good to start off. Hopefully, a second season that's good where everybody gets along, and then it
I
all
didn't
breaks
say
apart
everybody.
again.
I
Not
didn't say
everybody, obviously, not everybody. In terms of the DJ thing, because Tumbles. Why the name Tumbles as a DJ moniker?
So when I first met my husband, he joked around because he said, God, you have so much energy. You're like the Tasmanian devil. He goes, you come tumbling into the room, you wreak all this havoc, and then you tumble out. Like tumble in, tumble out, you were never here. So then it just became Tumbles. Like when I bring the energy, it became like my DJ name. So
No, it's great. What is, in terms of music, what is the best back-to-back song that will get any party that you DJ going? Do you have like, once I hit this song, that's like a no-brainer?
Listen, I mean, there's a lot of songs, but I'll be honest with you, I think a specific genre, regardless of age or demographic, you can't go wrong with disco. There are some tracks that if I drop anywhere, even in some of the biggest clubs with like people who love house music, you drop yourself a good disco track, like a Donna Summer, like I could go, trust me, and they lose their shit. So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with yeah.
Now that the holidays are over, you might be feeling like you've got a big spending hangover. The drinks, the holiday food, the gifts, it all adds up. So luckily, Mint Mobile is here to help you cut back on overspending on wireless this January with 50% off unlimited premium wireless. Now, I just hooked my dad up to this over the holidays, and we were even able to switch his old number over so easily. So Mint Mobile's end of the year sale is still going on, but only until the end of the month. Cut out big wireless's bloated plans and unnecessary monthly charges with 50% off 3, 6, or 12 months of unlimited. Now, all plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. So, this January, quit overspending on wireless with 50% off unlimited premium wireless. Plans start at $15 a month at mintmobile.com/sobad. That's mintmobile.com/sobad. Limited time offer, upfront payments of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 a month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra, initial plan term only, 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy, capable device required, availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com. Okay, good. That's good. In terms of, I always ask this of reality stars, your husband and your son, what do they think of all of this? And especially after this has been released, what have they said to you about the show?
My husband has always been very supportive, extremely supportive. He's always wanted for me to achieve my dreams. I'm the one that's always been just the very, flying close to the sun, and he's always been the more grounded one. We kind of balance each other out, yin and yang. So it's great because he supports me, but he doesn't mind being behind the scenes. And that's what I love about him because I see some relationships where they battle for the limelight.
Yeah.
My husband has done his day when he sees me performing, and because he DJs as well. Like, I mean, he used to back in the day. So there's times that I'm like, "Come
Do we
DJ
see
with me."
that ever? Like a husband and wife DJ duo? You can be like Daft
There
Punk, but
are,
with like
but
a
not as
husband and
cute as
wife?
us. No,
Yeah.
there are, but hey, not like Tumbles. So sometimes he will DJ with me, but many times he's like, "No, babe." He's like, "You know what? Go." And he'll stand backstage and he videotapes me and he just loves to see me in my element. And he can celebrate me from behind the scenes and he doesn't feel like, so he's always been very supportive. My son is just, listen, he's a 22-year-old. So he's like, "Okay, great. Oh, that's great." Obviously, he came out to a couple of parties. He did film a little bit with me, so
Yeah.
it is a little surreal. He went out for, New Year's just recently, and he said, "I was at this house, and then my friends had some, like, their parents over, and all of a sudden, they were like, 'Oh my god, you're DJ Tumbles' son?'" They're like, "Get out of here." They were like, "Shut
That's what I'm
up."
saying. Like, it's got to be insane once this has been released because then everybody all of a sudden knows about this. And that sometimes will put a lot of pressure on the other family members where they're like,
Right,
whoa,
right.
people are watching my mom right now. Um, one of
Yeah.
the criticisms you've had in Palm Beach is that, you can get your take on this, is that other Palm Beach, quote unquote, royalty is saying, this isn't real Palm Beach. This isn't real Palm Beach. It's not even in terms of location, but it's like, this isn't the hierarchy. Do you think that's just jealousy, or do you think that is there's some truth there with these people?
I mean, listen, it's subjective because, there's always going to be, the old school, the new school, and there's many different layers in between. I think that when I look back at the show, I think it does depict, whether they want to admit it or not, everything that you've seen in our show is very Palm Beach. I think a lot of times, like you said, people want it to be shown authentically and but are we showing up at a tea party on the island that takes place on a Tuesday afternoon? Because nobody wants to watch that shit. I'm telling you that being the girl that comes in from the front door at the country club, and I also come in through the back door at the country club and I DJ, that this is very Palm Beach. Even as far as going as my Palm Beach After Dark party, which seemed really over the top. Palm Beach has a great night scene. So let me tell you that all things Palm Beach are included in our actual show that you saw in season 1. I just think that people become very, they like to be very specific about details and be like, that's not, and we don't do that and it's not proper. But then again, it goes back to the hypocrisy. The very people that are like, oh, that is not Palm Beach are the ones that are like, like mystery money. Like, shut up. Like, what
Yeah,
did
are
you
there when you're going around town, though, are there a certain, group of people that are turning their nose up at you ladies right now?
Listen, there is a type of Palm Beach person that is very much like that. But for the most part, there's also a lot of cool people in town. Like, there's a reason why Tumbles has been embraced because I do a lot of the charity events. I do a lot of private parties on the island for, people who are billionaires and their parties are like over the top, would blow your mind. And these are cool ass people. They're the
Yeah.
Palm Beachers. So there's always going to be like, oh, that's not my cup of tea. Like, look, you have me, you have Hillary. She's like, "I don't like your swearing." I'm like, "Fuck, fuck, fuck." You know? There's always going to be, and that's what makes it beautiful though, because I feel like what we did in our group is we captured a little bit of all of it. Like, it's a little sprinkling of, you have Hillary, which is the much more conservative, like, I don't swear. You have Rosalind in the middle, you have Romina. You have, like, I just love that it's very colorful. And I love that they've captured a little bit of, like, all of our unique personalities. Cause I
Yeah.
watched it back and I thought, God, we really are like different. Yet, like, we all kind of hang out and we get along in, like, a similar way. It's weird.
But you watched it back and you were like, "I would still do a second season if it was offered."
Listen, I've been here a while and I would never leave. Like, I feel like now I will say this. I'm very happy that it got picked up by Netflix because when we were first doing this, like
Yeah.
putting together the show and doing a pilot, we didn't know. And then, Netflix picked it up and it's been like, over the past year or so. Honestly, they've treated us so well, and I never knew what to expect because this is my first time doing this. I'm so happy that we got picked up by Netflix. I feel like we've become a huge family. It's been nothing but just amazing the whole way through. So absolutely, yes. I don't feel like anything was taken out of context. A lot of people online, I saw
Yeah,
comments,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, it's scripted." Absolutely not. If it was scripted, let me tell you something, I got bamboozled because I'm the bitch that showed up real every day, and, like, there must have been hidden cameras, like, "Where is Ashton Kutcher? Is he jumping out?" You're like, "Oh," you
No,
know?
I mean, Netflix is the best place, I think, for this show. I mean, have you met the kids from Stranger Things yet?
No, not yet. I mean, like, listen, we're in the top
That's
10.
that's
Just
what we
be in
do.
that
You guys
company.
are both in the top 10 of shows right now. The other, I guess, criticism that the show is getting, obviously, is that we are very politically divided right now, and you are in Palm Beach. Mar-a-Lago is right there. You are DJing at Mar-a-Lago, and it is interesting, even from a viewer perspective, is that people are bragging about access of like, oh, I saw the president walk by, or I saw Elon walk by, or this or that, or even Bill Clinton. I saw this. And so we're politically charged as a country, and you guys are in, I guess, the heart of the winter White House. What is your take on that? Have you seen those comments?
I have seen those comments, and I think what is unfortunate is that just straight out of the gate, that it's, association by location, and there's an automatic assumption that just because of, where we are,
Yeah.
that, automatically that is your belief and, these are your views. The thing is this, is that I personally DJ at a lot of the country clubs in the area, whether it's the Boca Raton, the Everglades, the, 1000 North, Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago happens to be just one of the country clubs that I DJ at. Of course, like you said, it's on the world stage. So that one is going to jump out at people. Speaking for myself, I will say this, that I have always, and especially because of what I do, I navigate mostly, I'm such a neutral person, and I can't help but pick from both sides. Like, my basket has like a pillaging of like things from all sorts of sides because the way, like, listen, I spent 32 years in Canada. I only moved to the US like when I became 33, almost 34 years old. It took me 7 years to get my citizenship. Okay. I worked so hard to get it that when I was being sworn in with the American flag, Obama was on the screen and he was like, "Congratulations, we're calling on you." I was like, "I got you. I'm going to do this," because I was so honored. So, like, when people ask me, I don't
That's
get
a
political,
really interesting journey that you've been on. 7
right?
years to get your
Like,
citizenship.
I have
I mean,
goosebumps
yeah,
talking
like, I
about.
think that's something that's a very interesting thing that I would love to hear more of even on the show is that, you wanted to become an American citizen,
Yes,
and it took
my
you that
allegiance,
long to become an
right?
American citizen.
Right. So, like, when people say, "Oh, please," they start talking politics, I'm like, I can't even speak on that because I'm not a political person. One thing I can say is that, my allegiance is honestly to the American flag. I've dreamt about it since I was a child. I'm so honored to be in this country. Every time I talk about it, I wanna cry. Like, so honored to be in this country. It made my relationship possible. I wouldn't be with my husband for 18 years if I didn't earn my right to be in this country. It's beautiful. And I
So
hate Oh, no, go
you're
ahead.
not announcing a DJ Tumbles for president.
Listen, DJ Tumbles for president anytime because that sounds like I could actually run the show.
Yeah.
But, what, actually, I did see some comments which kind of, it hurts my heart to think that there's not, it's for people to think that I'm not all inclusive. They've asked me about, LGBT or, what my stance is on a lot of things. I'm such an all-inclusive person. Honestly, I lead with kindness. It breaks my heart to think that somebody would actually have to ask me if I was okay with a person because of any choices they made in their life. Listen,
But I
there is
think this is important. But Maria, I think this is important to hear from you, and it is really good to hear from you. And I think those are the things that we want. Rights for everybody. And so I think that's
right.
such an important thing to hear from you. And so
So
I'm so
important.
glad you said this. I unfortunately have to wrap up with you, but I wish I could keep talking to you forever.
Thank you.
What are the goals for 2026 for you and for DJ Tumbles?
Oh, there's a lot in the works. I am actually expanding with, what my work in with my charities. The DJing is growing. Romina and I are starting a lot of good projects. I'm actually also working with Roslyn on some charity stuff. So it's big, honestly.
Well, don't
Like,
let Rosalind push you around, okay? Do not let Rosalind push you around. Yeah, grab the crown.
the
You got
baton,
this.
grab the
You grab the
baton.
baton. Sorry, grab the gold baton. Grab it from Gail. But it's been a pleasure talking with you today. I hope you had a good time, and congrats on all of your success. You
Thank
guys,
you.
the show is on Netflix right now. You can see it right on the home screen. Members only Palm Beach. 8 episodes are streaming now, and these are supersized episodes, folks. So go check this out. See if it is your bag. I would say watch like one a day. Don't binge it all at once, or you're gonna have like an
Well,
overload in
that's
your
okay. Binge
brain.
it.
Or binge it.
We
Okay,
need
do it.
people to binge it
Do
because we're
whatever you want.
manifesting. Season
Okay,
2 is
manifesting. I think you got a season 2. But Maria, thank you so much for being here today, and we'll
Thank
talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.